Right, and today's little video is going to be about changing the power steering lines on the Audi TT. They're very common for breaking down and rusting and then leaking. So when this happens on the low pressure side, you just tend to get a bit of a weep. When it happens on the high pressure side, you lose all your fluid within a few seconds and you get a lot of noise. I'm actually going to a job in a couple of days time that's got the same issue, so I'm going to link footage from that with this. That one is actually leaking. This one today is just a preventative because the pipes are looking really bad, so the customer just wants them both changing over. But yeah, I'll get some other footage of how it actually looks and sounds when it's leaking. So yeah, I'm gonna get the car up in the air, get the under tray off. These are the parts that we've got, fresh and new. So this point here and this point here are the key places where it usually starts to leak from. Where this joint is, it rusts a lot, as you can see. So this pipe goes around here, and we're going to be changing it at these rubber hoses here. That's the section that we bought. The other part is the part that goes across here, which goes to that end of the steering rack and then up to the reservoir itself. And then we've got this one here is the high pressure one, which goes up here, snakes around a bit, goes off down the side of the gearbox. And then once I've got the covers off, I'll show you properly. The way you can see from here a bit better. Yeah, we're going to undo where it's silver rather than where it's sort of brass looking. I'm going to undo it there. I'll just get all the rest of these off. And so up here I'm just going to undo the headlight level sensor bracket. And then that will allow the panel to pull away. So one thing that happened on this one is as I was undoing the bolt from here, the clip where it goes through the thin bit of plastic on this panel just decided to break away. That's quite a common thing. Also, don't be surprised if as you undo these two, no matter how much you soak them in penetrant, about 50% of the time they can snap as well. So don't be surprised if that happens. But ultimately, even without that one, it's still nice and secure. This just gives a nice view as well as to where this pipe's going that we're dealing with here. No, can't get past that. There you go. That's it. So we've always got to undo it here and then undo it up here, undo it here, which is why this pipe needs to come out so we can get access up here, and then undo it there, and then this one will come off. So it is relatively straightforward, it's just a little bit awkward for access. We can then just sort of pull it down and past, like so. Like that. Oh, there we go. Oil dripping, where's my tray? Usual for there to be a little bit of oil in there. Just need to move this pipe out of the way as well. Whoops. Yeah, And now that that's there, this can sort of pull that way, which allows this end to come off. I'm going to have to use two hands for this. I keep trying to do stuff one-handed, it doesn't always work. So that's out. And it's a good idea at this point to just get any oil out of the intercooler that may be living on the bottom. Right, now we've got a really nice access to see what's going on. So we're going to undo this here, this one here. Now, honestly, where this goes through the gearbox, you'd be amazed how many times the aluminium in the gearbox casing cracks. Again, don't be alarmed if that happens. It's not unsurprising. And we're going to undo that one there. Once we've undone those, we're going to get a 22mm spanner onto this bit here, and we're going to crack this off, and we're going to catch what it gives us. So we're going to put the tray underneath there, catch all the fluid. We're not bothered about reusing the fluid. It's been in there a long time. Let's just put some fresh fluid in. So what I've done is I've only cracked this 22 off. I've undone the plug that goes to it from there, and now I can just spin this whole thing out like so, and we can just catch it all. I'm gonna have to use two hands so this doesn't go everywhere, okay? But yeah, you get the idea. So there it is, the new lines. I've only just nipped it. I've not fully tightened it yet because obviously I want it to all be sitting correctly on its mounts and things like that before I do that. But so now this pipe, we just need to leave this end up nice and high so that any fluid that goes into it doesn't leak straight back out and just cause a mess. Okay, so this is going to be our access. We're going to go in at this angle here. I'm just going to undo that, and as you can tell, it's just going to spill all over the rack, all over the subframe. It's going to be a bit tricky to catch all of that properly, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I've undone it with the 19mm. I've cracked it off, and as soon as I've cracked it off, I should be able to just do it by hand. So we've got that one off, so we've just got to get rid of this old sealing ring as well. But again, two fresh new sealing rings. And then we've just got to feed the new pipe in and then do it back up to there. I'm going to need to use two hands for that for sure. I'm not going to lie, this one's really fiddly to get to because your hand only just fits through the gap. But obviously start it off by hand to make sure your threads are going in square. And once you're happy, you can do that up. Now, I'm not going to tighten that all the way until I've got it suspended and supported in the other places that it needs to be so that it all sits properly. And then I'll put the torque specs below. So this end, can't really get a torque wrench on there, so I'm just going to do that till it feels nice and tight. At the other end, obviously we can torque it up to spec, and I'll write that below because I need to double check what that is. I think it's about 45 foot-pounds, but now that I said it out loud, I'm not sure, so I'll double check. But yeah, so I've actually fixed it all up in place. Like I say, that one there is broken. I'm not surprised, but it's still plenty supported. And I've got the gearbox one on as well, like that. So now I can tighten it up. And then this other one is dead easy to change. We've just got to undo these factory fittings here, slide the old one out, slide the new one in with some fresh Jubilee clips. Job done. So this one really is a piece of cake. Okay, I know I wasn't going crazy. It's 45 Newton meters for the big ones and 38 Newton meters for the little ones. So the one on the rack is little. This at the end that we've just done, if you're doing the other end, it's a bigger one, so that's 45 Newton meters. And it's supposed to be 45 Newton meters where it attaches into the pump as well, I think. But there's not much thread going into there, so that's why I like to just do that one by hand, just get a good feel for it, make sure you're not overdoing it and stripping threads out. Here we go. Oh look, it went out of focus just at the wrong moment, didn't it? What we're going to do is we're going to grip it with the mole grips and just give it a twist just to break the seal. Grab it like that. I'm going to twist it. There you go. See how that broke the seal? So now that's going to pull off nice and easily. I'm just going to do the same for the other one. So now they're both ready to. There we go. Easy as that. And the new ones will just push in. I'm going to get some clamps on there first. One-handed wiggle. Nah, but you get the idea. Okay, so for filling the system up and then bleeding it, I'm going to